Hey.
Welcome back to the POPcast.
Thank you.
Episode 11. We're back, baby.
Right after Nani's voice. Next on the podcast. Do more voiceovers.
Yeah, I want them to look for email, so you know.
Yeah, voiceovers be cheap.
She's too expensive.
No, voiceovers be really cheap. You spend more money going to voiceovers on petrol than
actually getting paid out.
Unless you get like a lot or a campaign.
Yeah.
You don't know, huh? You used to do a lot of those.
I used to.
Captain Morgan.
Yeah. Then I was like, no, I'll only stick with the campaigns. Because that's where the big money is.
That's where the
6
cash
months,
is.
the years.
Yes.
Yeah. But let's talk about this music thing.
Yeah.
One more show, Noni, by the way.
Oh, wow, thanks.
Oh my gosh, VG! Yo!
Nice haircut.
Yes, I'm so glad you cut your hair.
Yo, she's single, by the way.
Looking
You look
young.
so fresh.
Yeah.
Look at you, hey?
No,
Are you still on a diet?
I'm trying to hook you up out here.
Are you still on a
Don't
diet,
hook me up
man?
with-
Definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah, coca.
I am, seriously.
Yeah. Oh,
It's been 3 weeks now.
When last did you have chicken?
Maybe 3 weeks ago. Not 3 weeks, but like 4
Do you
weeks
miss
ago.
it?
No, nothing.
Really? A black man who doesn't eat chicken? I'm stressed.
My dad doesn't eat chicken. They used to boil it in university.
Little fish.
So when he made it in life, he said, I will never, ever. No cap.
That's what they call PTSD.
No, it's like me. Like, you know, like amatambo. Like, you know, people have amatambo. Yo, never, ever will I have that.
Oh yeah, my fans have been asking me why I haven't been releasing any music lately, and to be honest, the biggest reason I haven't been releasing any content is anxiety. Taking some time off to realign and rediscover myself as an individual and an artist so I can be the best me for all of you.
Quantity over quality.
What are you saying?
What do you say? Thanks.
I just feel like, you know, Hash just dropped this year, right?
Yes, he dropped an album this year.
This year, right?
And it did
Was
very
it
well.
It did very well.
EP.
Did
It was
well.
an EP,
Yeah,
right?
I think
It dropped
yeah.
an EP this year, right?
It was an album. It was pretty long. It was
Yeah, but it wasn't an album.
Well, it's an EP, yeah.
It's an
Okay.
EP. Yeah.
Okay.
How many singles did it drop from there?
Circles, one. The one with A Reese and Flame.
2.
That's 2 that I can remember.
But he shot one video, or did he shoot 2 videos?
I don't think there were any videos.
No, there was. He shot one video.
Circles,
right? So my thing is this: like sometimes maybe like the streaming is just the influx of like consumption you get thingy. But I think maybe he just needs to work it right, maybe more. You know what I mean in terms of placing and ordering. But also at the same time, I don't think Hash is probably after listening to the album. I don't think he's somebody who wants to just put out anything just for the sake of putting out anything. Hence, I'm saying quality over quantity.
But what does that have to do with his anxiety?
Well, maybe also that he wants to drop something that he actually feels comfortable with.
But I think when you're addressing the mechanics of dropping music.
Okay.
If you hear what he was talking about.
So you think he's going through something?
I mean, listen. I mean, should I read it again?
Yeah.
Because he's talking about anxiety. He's not talking about labels or mechanics. He says, you know, so I can be the best me. I can be.
So you don't think he's coming also from a point of he doesn't, you know, sometimes when you drop music, you just don't want to drop anything for the sake of dropping it. You just like, shit.
Again,
this is
VG, you're
perfect.
talking about just music dropping.
Okay. Maybe it could be this label?
Is he signed to a label?
He's not anything.
I honestly think it's a personal issue. I think for him, he's going through some emotions. I mean, it's different coming out of high school, getting all of this fame, trying to get this music out, and then you're realizing, okay, there's a lot that comes into the game, things like that. Sharp, maybe from a music front, I hear what you're saying, but I think also as an individual, it's a lot to kind of take on, especially at 19. Especially, well, also if you don't really have the right team around you. You know what I mean? You could be carrying that burden by yourself. 1. 2, he could just be going through anxiety because there's things, personal things that are happening to him. And it seems to be a thing that's happening with the kids as well, because I know Patrick XX Lee also went through his depression as well. As I remember speaking to him on the show on my radio show about it some time back. So I don't know what's actually going on with. I don't want to call it a trend because this is a very serious issue. You know what I mean? Like for people to be going through depression and anxiety at such a young age, it's scary.
I think especially with the young artists, ourselves included, even if you've been in the game for 10 years, you need to like sort of pace yourself with everything you're doing, you know? Especially if there's so much going on around you. You have peers your age, you have a Reese, you have a Nasty, you have a Flame, you know, doing all these things, you feel like I should be doing them too, kind of a
Ego
thing.
dropping
you know?
in Times Square.
You know what I mean? So those kind of things do add on to you getting anxiety as a person. So I think it's very important for all of us to just take things one day at a time and be on your own journey. Be on your own journey. Don't look at what other people are doing. Focus on your goals and just hope for the best. Because the other problem is that you must remember on the come up there isn't much money.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, there isn't much money. You want to shoot a lot of videos. You want to go on tour. You want to have the swaggiest
Merch,
clothes.
everything, yeah.
You want to get the best mixing and mastering engineer out there, but sometimes you just can't, you know? And sometimes those 2 or 3 gigs you're doing a month just aren't enough for what your mind wants to do, you know? Those are one of the things that could lead to anxiety, and I think we've all gone through that one. And I think a lot of the come-up guys go through that one. Like, a lot of them will call me when they need help because I always be like, let me help you where I can, you know? And I'll always be there to help, you know, but I'll always explain like, yo, man, you need to understand how this thing works. You need to save money. You can't always depend on other people for money, and also just live within your means. If you can't afford to buy a chain because you wanted to buy monitors, that's fine. Do that.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. I want to just add on that. Coming from high school, 19 years old, 18, releasing a project that gets a lot of attention and a lot of radio play and a lot
co-signed
of
by
success.
big guys, right?
Right? What do you say?
And being co-signed by a big artist.
Being
as well.
co-signed by a big artist. The systems, he never had the systems to make him a big artist, and yet he ended up being one. So I'll come back to that. Like, I don't think that
Is he a big artist though?
right now for his age group and the music he's putting out, he's
What do we regard as a big artist these days?
for me, I'm not saying he's on the level of a Nasty or an AKA, but for what he's put out in the space of time that his name has been in the game,
And the
what
attention he's garnered.
what Circles has done in the amount of bookings, having the Adidas contract, like he's done a lot
Yeah,
for
no,
his.
no doubt,
You
no
feel
doubt,
me? So when I say big, he's definitely elevated from where he was.
Sure, of course,
To
yeah.
become a name that we've mentioned on this show when we look at people that are doing dope things.
I 100%, but I wouldn't say big, and the reason I say it, not in a bad way,
Yeah.
is just like sometimes we also get like really sucked up within Johannesburg and within what's happening
Got you.
in these metropolitan cities or
you.
places, you know. So it happens a lot with DJs where maybe you're popping as a DJ inside Sumo and Taboo, but the moment you hit down to Taung, it's a different ball game. You know what I mean? So I think
do hear you.
I think it's very important that we also. I'm not taking away from the work that he's done. He's on his way there. I just don't think he's a big artist yet. I mean, a lot of the time we forget that SABC1, those are our biggest mediums. So you don't ever. If the people that watch that know you, then you're a big artist. Then you're a big whatever.
We call it the Southgate test.
Yeah.
We're gonna walk through Southgate, and you cannot find rest.
Never heard of
Then
this
you're a
before.
big- we call it the Southgate test. I'm telling you, when you walk through Southgate and you're not being asked, and you don't feel like you're being bothered, then you're not big. And I hear you there. Let me say this.
But he's well on his
From the
way there.
success that he's had from being a high school dropout to dropping young, the success that he's had has come fairly at a fairly quick rate. So I wouldn't say dropping music was the problem. I wouldn't say them whatever. I'm gonna say that it's now that success that is becoming a curse. If you don't know personally where you're at and what the next move has to be. And sometimes when you're a young artist, like in hip hop, the one thing that we do very badly is always give props to the artist. Like we look at Jay and we go, yo, boss man. We look at Diddy, we go, yo, that's the man. We don't really see the teams.
I was about to say.
And motherfuckers got like teams
behind,
people on staff that these people know that if the plan to drop new music or to re-image oneself fails, they don't get paid.
Sure.
In SA, we don't have that. And because we've taken this boss mentality of hip hop in really, really thinking that the guy that raps is the same guy that draws up the marketing strategy, is the same guy that does everything. Because yes, for a long time we've had to. But now we're getting a bit smarter, we're getting a bit enlightened to how things work. And for a young artist like him, when he sees the success that he's had, even it's hard for, like you said, it's hard for him to appreciate his own success because he looks at Nasty, then he looks at Shane, and of course they do. The gram makes you look at that.
Yeah.
You can't hide away from that.
Yeah.
And it becomes hard for someone to take the success that was meant for them for that time and pat themselves on the back and go, I got it.
Sure.
Then they look at, yo, but I'm not there, I'm not doing that. But you just dropped an EP.
Yeah.
So with me, I think I'm gonna go back to what Speedo was saying, right? And I look at someone like Hash, right? I think he yes, I'm not saying he's the A-list artist. You're saying he's not an A-list artist. I wouldn't put him in C, I would put him in B. Because now for me, it's one of those things that he is being demanded. And you could say by the big guys calling him up, right? He was the student of Keenan. We know that, right?
He did a song with Anati and Boiti.
You know what I mean? So you can see that people are saying that this kid is coming about, you know? And the day he cracks it, it's gonna be out of here for him. So also it could be the pressure of, you guys are saying that, you're saying that it's maybe the Nasties comparing. I don't think he's comparing himself to the
music
Nasties.
The word anxiety lets you know that I'm anxious because anxiety exists because now you feel like you are not enough.
Okay.
That's when anxiety exists.
Okay.
And because it's
You're
being
worried
caused
about
by the
something,
big artists already, like I say, music isn't the problem. When he uses the word anxiety, that comes from a place of when you seeing what, and a lot of people are going through it in Joburg. They see what they're doing, they think, fuck, I've killed it. They go home, they check on the phone, and they're like, fuck.
This guy's killing it.
You know?
The other part of it is just like worrying about the outcome, which you don't know. I think that's where like a lot of
You're worried about a future that, and you don't realize that, and when you were a dropout in high school, hoping it would work out, what has happened already is a victory. You're on your trajectory.
Yeah.
But it's only normal, and I guess it's normal nowadays more because of this thing. Le phone le nasbali. Yinkinga, when you don't have your bearings and your compass and your true north in check.
I think it's also that switch of realizing I'm not in school anymore. I'm an adult now, and adulting comes at you fast. Like when you start realizing you've got responsibilities, and those responsibilities don't have to be a bond or a car. Those responsibilities could just be paying for studio time, paying for a music video, getting to gigs, things like that. Do you know what I mean? So I think for him, it's also just like, okay, this is happening too fast. I might need help. I hope he has a good team. Because we obviously don't know who the team is behind him. But you also can't...
In a wave.
Yeah, but in that you also can't compare yourself to... Unfortunately, the likes of Nasty, for instance, everyone will look at him like, okay, that's the blueprint now. He made it at 19, I'm 19, I should be at a certain level. But at the end of the day, everybody's journey is different. And I think people also need to realize that, is that you've done well, the fact that we're speaking about you. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's about taking it to the next level and saying, okay, how else can I boss up? Because now if you're going to stress yourself too much about the small things, when life comes...
I hope the anxiety we're talking about, because we're talking about the one that comes from the profession.
Yes.
And like we say, we haven't talked to him. There might be an anxiety coming from another angle of life.
Might be a personal issue.
Might be a personal issue as well. And for that, we don't have the solutions for. You know, we're just gonna, hopefully time will sort itself out, and hopefully it'll lead to great music or great songs. Because you're a musician at the end of the day, no matter what you're going through, can funnel into your music.
Yeah.
I hope he's not really comparing himself to the other guys. When you come and you see it, you're like, what? Like you're saying, fuck.
It's only natural to compare yourself, Vigi.
Yeah, well.
It's only natural, especially in a competitive sport like hip hop.
Yeah.
It's only natural.
And on the real, my brother, the young, you know, because it'll be like, no, I got years to catch up to AKA. But when you look at your Nasties, your Shade, your Reese's, even though Reese has been quiet the whole time, it just started popping up again on the gram. You know, he's been quiet for a long time, and we wonder what's coming. You know.
But Reese would kill if he was in Southgate.
You know
what I mean?
For sure.
So if he might have been quiet this year,
but he would murder. Southgate with the saggy, with the saggy pants, with the long sleeve and the shirts.
So he may be quiet right now, but he's still on the radar, and I think that's the concern at the end of the day. Well, that's what we're seeing. We're not diagnosing it. It's not like we know what's happening, but that's what we're looking at.
I was actually going through Anati's page yesterday because I was like, "Where's this guy? Like, he doesn't post anything." And the last thing he posted was the Lion King soundtrack, which was like in July, you know.
Yes.
So I wonder what he's got up his sleeve as well.
He's definitely cooking.
And that is always he's always in the kitchen.
And I think right now, because after Lion King, after writing on a song with J.B. and Childish Gambino and Wizkid, you really not trying to go back to like, you know what I mean? He's really like, I'll wait.
Yeah.
He's got money, he'll travel. He might not post it, but he's out there. He's out there churning another sound. Because he can see where things are going, especially with the African sound. And he wants to manipulate that, and he has the talent
and
and the
I think
ability.
it also worked for him, even with testing it with his own music with ears. Because it also opened him up to a different type of audience that he didn't have previously. So
looking forward to that song with Pash and
Ipoti.
Very off topic, but I just thought we should speak about this. AKA Orchestra.
Yes.
It's sold out. And I was actually speaking to him last week, Friday, and he was saying that like he was quite scared because when we're like on like Wednesday or so, they had sold like 600 tickets, you know, and he was crazy. Oh my God. But come Friday night, Saturday morning, they were sold out, you know, it went really, really well. And the sneaker, we haven't spoke about the sneaker. He dropped the sneaker, which is a really, really big deal because I don't think any African artist has done a collab of that magnitude. But then,
okay.
yeah.
No, go on.
What do you want to say?
No.
You always
But
do this and then you don't come back.
I think obviously with the big brand, you're right, with the magnitude, definitely, but I don't think he was the first guy to drop a sneaker. I think...
No. Of course, I mean, Squatter Camp dropped a sneaker with Kappa. A lot of guys have done it. I'm just saying, of that magnitude.
The shoe as well? Yeah, okay, cool.
Of that magnitude, no one has done it. But then also, I heard some other things. I don't have the exact details, so I don't want to speak about it or give the wrong information.
Sumo.
Rumor has it that AKA and Frank Casino were in a bit of a fight.
A young scuffle
At the club. Like I said, I don't know the exact details. Maybe you guys know about that.
I don't.
I wasn't
So
there.
no one tweeted anything.
I wasn't there, so...
No, nobody tweeted, nobody said anything. Everyone's still trying to find out details.
Yeah. So I thought maybe you guys know.
Nah, dog, I didn't know.
Yeah, I just heard on the
Because
streets.
we went in the club that night.
We went to the club. I wasn't there as well, so I don't want to give the wrong information. I don't know if Dimples was there.
But he won't tell us because your mother's empty.
But anyway, I heard it was in the kitchen, so maybe Dimples was on the other side. So...
Well, clearly it was cleared very quickly if it's gone under the radar.
Yeah.
You've actually brought more light to it now that you're going to bring it to a national audience who's going to ask what the fuck happened.
We're going to get music.
And shout outs for your journalism.
Yeah.
We're going to get music.
Yeah, like, I mean, I heard about this.
But we saw you laid it up.
Yeah.
You smacked.
On a more serious note, still keeping things in the north. I just want to send our condolences to Crazy Lou's family. We lost a legend, somebody who has done such great things in South African hip hop. He had subsequently obviously moved his career and his business to Cambodia, but he was doing really well apparently. But he was part of Jozi. He did great things with Deleuze, with Bongani, with Ishmael.
Yeah.
The music is timeless. I still kind of listen to that music and say, yo, these guys definitely knew what they were doing during that time. So condolences to his family and Asma. Sometimes we don't take these things seriously, you know what I mean? That's why VG's vegan now, because he's taking care of himself.
No, don't throw titles now.
Sorry.
You put him under pressure. He's already got a haircut, looking clean, man, under pressure. But you know what I loved about Crazy Lou? Not Crazy Lou, but when he passed, was the amount of people that I never thought would take the time to post a picture of him and say RIP. There were a lot of kids in the game, a lot of people in the game who really showed their respects, and I really, really cherished that. It was dope.
I saw Elias posted out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how loyal that dude is.
Yeah. I'm hoping, I haven't seen Bongani.
We haven't seen
I'm
Bongani in
sure,
years.
I'm sure, obviously, it's a great loss for hip hop game.
Rest in peace, man.
But I'm gonna go back to Hash. I think one thing about Hash, I'll call him as well on my side. Hope everything's fine.
That's big.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Just to call him. I know that he's got a support system. I know that his mother, he's always telling me like the mother really supports him. So, yeah, man. I hope he comes back. We need him.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We need him in hip hop.
Definitely.
Yeah.